Welcome to where the furniture isn't always the best, but them views, they are amazing.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 13th floor where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing. I am your moderator, B. Jones, and we got Coach K up first again this week. What's happening, player?
Is that 2 weeks in a row?
2 weeks in a row, bro. We going strong, man. I'm trying to make this, what you call it,
winning,
a pattern.
buddy. You were
That's
winning.
a trend right there. Somebody should study that. Somehow
Yeah,
I made it. What you say?
I was saying once I get to number 3, it's going to be a habit.
Yeah, we got to have it. Let's have it. Let's go. I'm good. I'm ready. I'm excited for the show. This dude we're going to talk about today, man, he's just a phenomenal person, man, just the stuff. But anyway, I'll save it.
There it is. Mr. Faison, what's going on in the Wall of Fame over there?
Listen, today I'm excited to be a student. I want to learn. I need to eat better. I've eaten horrible my entire life and still maintain this 213-pound body. So it's in order to, I'm officially 40, and I know that the game is changing. So I got to maintain and get ready for 50. So I'm going to learn now so that in 10 years, I got the same 213 shape.
There it is, man. You know, everything in moderation. We'll get to them, what'd you say, cheese puffs you was eating earlier?
Yeah, that's done. And now I'm on to this. So we'll go ahead and learn a lesson. We'll start
Put one down for the other, ladies and gentlemen. One down for the other. Fresh. What's happening, baby, out there on the island? What's going on?
Man, I'm trying not to get down on myself, realizing I weigh more than Art. Like, it's real out here. I know, and I still do. And, you know, you try to work at things and then realize when it gets verbalized like that for the world to hear, you know, sometimes it's like a swift kick to the nards.
Man, you ain't got
I
have nothing to worry about.
We were the same weight freshman year, maybe. No, you were I mean freshman year.
Yeah, I was skinny freshman year, and then after that,
don't love.
I had that roller coaster. It was a lot of this. Yeah, it was a lot of that.
Just feeding you.
Very true. Very true, man. Straight Wu-Tang. And Wu-Tang is for the kids, just like the 13th floor on occasions.
Hey, man, it's all good, man. You a motivation for me because every morning you can count on Fresh being out there. What you getting in, 3, 4, 5 miles a morning?
Man, I wish I get a good 2.7 on the Richter scale. You know, it depends on how frosty I'm feeling. But, you know, I feel just getting out there and doing something is better than just sitting here and doing nothing. So, you know as long as we swing and we bring it, dog.
There it is. And last but not least, our special guest this week, he is back on the podcast. If you missed him in episode 128, where we got into blank canvas cooking, you need to go back and check that episode, man. It's a lot of energy, a lot of positivity and lessons in that episode. So much so we had to bring Mr. Pat Quinn back on this episode to continue and actually close out our gut check series where we're teaching you all about your gut health and ways that you can eat healthier and live a healthier lifestyle. Pat Quinn, what's up, baby?
Fellas, audience, people, Earth, I am doing fantastic. I feel great. Excited that you guys had me come back. Really appreciate it. And looking forward to just dropping some knowledge, sharing some tips and some good information that people can utilize, benefit from, and try to live their best self.
Absolutely, man. If you're watching the video right now, yes, you are reading exactly what it says on the screen. Our resident chef, Pat Quinn, he can elaborate on the taste testing methods and things that he likes to get into when he's in the kitchen. But yes, that is what it says. You can have a taste.
It is.
So I think we have a small number. You might have made it on the 13th floor Hall of Fame, man. We don't. In 100 and how many episodes?
160.
We on 161.
Yeah, this will be 161. This will be 161.
We've had very few second-time visitors. You might only be like the third, fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
God, dog, man. Shoot. God damn.
Yeah, man.
Drop a bomb for that one.
Hey, I'm going to find one. We got it right here, America.
Get them sound.
Silly if we didn't welcome our new listeners. Episode 161, we have now entered into iHeartRadio. So we definitely want to welcome our iHeartRadio audience.
Hey.
Thank you for being here with us on the third.
More applause.
And yeah, we look forward to bringing you some great content every single week. So yeah, let's go.
Let's go, man. Starting the iHeart. See, look, Pat, you come in on the right week, man. We on iHeart Radio this week. You about to be a celebrity chef in this
Man,
thing in a minute, baby.
ain't no about to be. I already been
He
one, man.
already
What
left.
are you talking about?
Did he?
My bad. My
Hold it
bad.
down.
Man, it's about all how you think, man. That's seed already, man. I'm just walking in it.
There it is, man. That's the attitude. See, I told you, man, that energy right there is why we had to bring him back on the show, man. So, Pat, man, first question, man, I want to get into an update on Blank Canvas Cooking, bro. You gave us the rundown the first time around, and I'm really interested in knowing how COVID has impacted your business for the good, and if so, for the bad.
Well, I tell you what, Blank Canvas Cooking is growing. For one, during this time of COVID and this shutdown era that we've been in, I've taken some time just to figure out how I can add value to my customers. I've taken the time to listen to other people in the industry, and I've learned how to continue to diversify myself. And so one of the things I did was I actually went and picked up a nutrition coaching certification, so that as I enter a home or if I'm working with a client, it's not just about me preparing food, but it's about me being able to speak with you in a way to help you understand how this food is not only going to please your palate, but also please your body and get you the results that you need, whatever that might be, whether you're a professional athlete or you're just someone who wants to slim down or build up muscle. So I've added value to the business in that sense. And as far as COVID, I've been so fortunate that COVID has not touched me. COVID has not touched any of my clients. So that's a good thing. I do know a couple people who have been affected, but it has not impacted myself or clients in a negative way. I will also add that COVID actually extended my work with some clients. I was cooking for a gentleman who plays for the Boston Red Sox. So since COVID happened, he couldn't leave for spring training. Called me up, Pat, I'm still in town. I need you to come cook for me, dog. So actually helped my business out. So the fact that some athletes were home, they still wanted some good food. So it allowed me to continue on some relationships. So that was definitely a blessing in disguise, because I was originally going to have to figure out some other things to do. So ultimately, yeah, we've grown as far as what we can, services we can offer. COVID has kept me working, and moving forward, I think it's going to continue to keep me working, because there are some people that just don't want to be in a restaurant because they don't want to be around crowds. So what better opportunity to have great food, restaurant quality food, than to hire a private chef to come to your house?
Hey,
What you want,
plug.
what you need. Hey, so.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. A lot of things, since COVID has happened, one of the biggest things is the shift in people's mindset, and trying to take control of your situation and pivoting where necessary, which it sounds like you ultimately were able to do. Would you say you had to have that mindset shift, or was it, I'm already in this lane, business as usual, I just got to figure out what to do next?
Well, I already had the mindset. I just wasn't sure the direction to go with it. Ultimately, the things that I'm doing now are really driven by the focus on just standing out. Because in any business that you're in, you understand there's competition. So in the midst of competition, you need to figure out, why would any customer or client choose you over the other 5 to 50 options they have out there? So that's really what drives me. So I want to make sure that people know it's not just about, yes, I can come cook. There are hundreds of people that can cook. Fantastic. Mm-hmm. But one, are they going to be personable? Can you relate to them? Can you trust them? Do you enjoy their food? Now, outside of the food, do they offer any additional value, especially when you are someone who is looking at food for more than just a way to make you feel good, but you also want food to help you look good. And also you may want food to help it or cure or improve some ailments that you're dealing with. So if a chef has that ability to do that, now you stand out. So that's always just simply in the forefront of my mind. How do I continue to stand out and separate myself from every other chef that can cook?
Awesome, man. I'm glad that you brought up that health perspective, because, it's really, food is health. You know what I'm saying? Food is medicine. And a lot of us are starting to realize that at this time, when people are becoming more in tune with their health, what are the top 3 dietary recommendations that you would have for people to increase intake of and decrease, their intake of, to make sure they're maintaining that healthy lifestyle?
All right. So, but as far as recommendations, the first one I'm going to actually mention has nothing to do with what you eat. The first one is actually getting to know your body. In order to do that, you need to hire a professional. I always refer clients who have concerns about their eating habits, concerns about their weight, energy levels. I refer them to a registered dietitian first. And I'm so blessed to have two that I partner with when there's things that are above my knowledge base. So see a registered dietitian who can actually sit down with you and help you understand how food impacts your body. Because the way I may be able to eat an eggplant and it does not have any negative effect on me, but the rest of you guys might eat it and some person might have an adverse reaction to it. And it's important to understand, how does food digest in your body? Do you have allergic reactions? Are you able to actually benefit from the nutritional value that's in that food? And some of us aren't. So the first recommendation is learn your body. And they are professionals like registered dietitians who are there to help you do that. The second recommendation I have is actually know what you eat. When I have my nutrition clients that I work with right now, first thing I do to find out how serious they are, I have them create a food journal for 3 straight days. And you will be surprised that when you write down and take pictures of what you are consuming and then go back and look at it, sometimes it'll put you in shock, like, I can't believe I ate all of this. I can't believe this is exactly what I ate. So it's a wake-up call to actually pay attention to what you are consuming, whether that is literally knowing that I drank 6 sodas in one day. I had orange juice that sounds healthy, but I had a whole bottle of that orange juice. I ate fried food 3 days in a row, so knowing exactly what you consume is very important. Now, the next thing is actually taking control of what you eat by literally learning portion control. Some of us actually eat somewhat healthy, but we eat a lot of these things. And that is not always beneficial to us if you're trying to, let's say, lose weight. So understand portion control would be my next habit for folks.
Hey,
Now, when it comes,
so
ahead,
let's go back to number one, right? Registered dietitian. Is that something that, in your experience, people can usually reach out to their insurance provider and get coverage, or is that something that people have to spend on their own? What are your thoughts on that? So
that's going to be, you're going to have to, that's going to really depend on the actual insurance agency. Some insurance agencies are going to be different. Now, I know there's 2 registered dietitians that I partner with. One of them, I know she does take insurance. So I don't know all the insurance she takes, but there are some insurance companies that will cover it. So that is up to each individual person in that case. Okay. And then for your 2 dietitians, is that something that they do virtually? Do you have to be where they are, or where does someone go to find a dietitian? Let's go there. All right. So we are fortunately in an age where technology is reigns. So literally you can Google, just Google registered dietitian and put your city in, and there are, you'll pull up tons of information. They do have actual associations, so you can, the name escapes me right now, but there are registered dietitian associations where you literally have a database of registered dietitians, where you can search from. Yes. So, and as far as virtual or in person, I work with a registered dietitian. Her name is Lisa Dorfman. She's been in the industry for well over 20 years. She is internationally known. She also became a chef as well. She's a sports dietitian. So she is highly qualified, well-respected in the industry. She's able to meet with clients in person in her office. She's able to meet with clients virtually. So she's very flexible when it comes to actually getting in contact with you to get the information that you need. Now, if you need to go as far as having blood work done, and that's something that's important to know. Within the industry, you have the title registered dietitian, you have nutritionists. Now, registered dietitians have taken more classes in the realm of health science than nutritionists. A registered dietitian is actually the only group of people who can legally let's say, do blood work and analyze that blood work on you when it comes to it. So people don't want to understand that because they may feel that, hey, I have a nutritionist. Yeah, but nutritionists can't do everything a registered dietitian can do. So that's important to know. But if you physically need to go in and have her do blood work on you to have a better understanding of how food is working in your body and your blood type, that's something that can be done as well.
Hey man,
Gotcha.
Lisa sound expensive. Who's option number 2? No, I'm just
Well,
joking.
and it's glad you mentioned that. And
Right.
and I tell people this: when it comes to being healthier, eating healthy, utilizing health resources. You use the term expensive. It's a relative term. I tell people all the time: you can either pay now, or you can pay later. You can pay up front by choosing to eat organic foods. You can pay now by getting a personal trainer, by using service of a registered dietitian, or you can pay that copay later when you end up in the hospital. You can pay that extra bill because you've had surgery and had to stay in the hospital 3 or 4 days. So either way, you're going to pay. Which time do you want to pay, early or late? I'd rather pay early so I never have to pay late.
Right. And which one is more enjoyable?
Exactly. And unfortunately, I had an issue 2 years ago. I was in hospital, and there's nothing enjoyable about being in hospital, and there's nothing enjoyable about looking at that bill that comes conveniently 3 to 4 months later when you actually forgot you was in the hospital. It's like, oh shoot, what is this? $8,000. So
What are some of before we go forward, what are some of the things we should ask the registered dietitian when we're looking for vetting them out to find the right one? 'Cause I'm sure there's many out there that are just, on paper or so forth, but how do we make sure we vet them properly?
Well, one of the great things is you can literally look people up. You see their credentials. I would say it's relative to what you're trying to get out of it. So let's look at if you're just the average working person who literally you have a family, you work from 9 to 5, or whatever your hours are, you come home and you just literally want to find a way to lose a little bit of weight, and you try many things that haven't worked. So for you in that particular case, you just want to make sure you find a registered dietitian that has come from a credible program. You want to find out how long they've been in business. You want to find out if they have a diverse background as far as were they clinical, where they were working in a hospital, where they've always been in a private sector. Because all these things will matter as far as how many different types of people they've been able to work with. And there's no knock on, let's say, a young registered dietitian, but sometimes you want somebody that's been in the industry for at least 5 years and somebody that's seen many different types of clientele that can come with a diverse background of knowledge and experience, and somebody that's not going to give you a cookie cutter approach. Now, if you're somebody that, let's say, for some reason you become a weekend warrior, you're somebody that likes to compete, maybe you're in training for some type of half marathon, or you're some other type of competitive event, you may want a dietitian who has some experience working with athletes, because recommendations, experiences, reactions to the body with training and food are going to be different for those type of people. You want somebody that has that experience dealing with elite level or competitive athletes, because their approach is going to be so much different. The way in which they can coach you up is going to be different. The way their recommendations and what they know you can handle when it comes to how they create a dietary plan is going to be different, because that in itself is its own challenge. And most registered dietitians know that they can give you a list of food, but then in addition to the list of food they give you and the portions they give you, they're going to understand how to give you the information in a way that you will actually consistently follow. And somebody with an athletic mindset versus somebody who just wants to, I just want to lose 10 or 15 pounds, are going to be totally different on how they take the information and apply it to their life consistently.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So sticking with the health aspect of it, and the hospitalizations and such, inflammation is like the leading cause behind a lot of health or illnesses. And the trigger behind a lot of inflammation is sugar. And so I want your recommendation on some simple things or simple ways that we can reduce or substitute the types of sugars that we are intaking. For example, I used to be big on sodas. Had to have a cream soda or a Jones soda, and I felt like, all right, if I'm at least taking in real sugar and not high fructose corn syrup, I was doing something good. But then the advent of the flavored sparkling water was like the best thing for me since sliced bread, especially bubbly. I'm on those things. I drink probably about 2 or 3 of them a day. and it's no sugar. I get that feel of a soda, but I'm basically putting in water into my body. So what are some other ways that people can substitute that sugar in a healthy way to help reduce that intake?
All right. I always go to fruit. Fruit is your most natural sugar that you're going to get. They'll understand it's fructose. So fruit is always going to be a first go-to. Like, simple example is, I have a client right now who tells me he loves orange juice, but he loves it so much that he'll have 5 to 6 servings at one sitting. I'm like, if you like orange juice, I get it, but understand that that orange juice in that bottle has added sugar to it. So if you truly want to benefit from an orange, eat an orange. That's it. Eat an orange. And that will give you a certain amount of sugar where it's just natural sugar. Nobody has taken nobody's taken this new sugar product and put it into something else. In addition to fruit, fruit, I always like dates. Dates is a more dry fruit, but dates are so amazingly sweet. And if you get the right kind of date, the texture on it is amazing. If you love baked goods, like, matter of fact, just yesterday I made some banana bread, and the recipe does call for a decent amount of sugar. I cut half the sugar and actually added dates in addition to that. So it allowed me at least to still keep the sweetness level that I wanted without having added sugar to it. And one other thing to really think about, I mean, we play around with the term a healthier sugar option. Some people look at, stevia and things like that. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, whatever kind of sugar we bringing in, whether it's fructose, whether it's brown sugar, coconut sugar, date sugar, all these different things are really being broken down in the body almost pretty much the same way. So it's important that we do understand that no matter what kind of sugar you're consuming, you just want to make sure you're conscious of it and try to keep it at a level that is respectable for your body. I can't give you a magic number and say, well, you only need 30 grams of sugar and you're fine, because our bodies are relative. It's relative to how we actually consume that sugar, which is energy. Understand this. I will say this because sugar gets a bad rep. Sugar is energy. Now, if you don't use that energy, your body's now going to take it and hold on to it. And now we hold on to it as fat. But if you're somebody who's very athletic, you're out and about, some of that sugar you consume is going to be utilized and broken down into your body so you can get that activity done. So that's why I can't give you a perfect number, because somebody may want to find out, well, how much sugar is enough for the average person? And it's hard for me to give that number. But most people will say literally about 3 tablespoons of sugar a day is about all you should have. But once again, it's still going to be relative. That makes sense. I know you're like, how much is that?
Is that even practical?
Yeah, I'm about to say, what is that equivalent to?
I was going to ask you, how many peach rings, how many pizza rings is
Shit,
that?
that's like a half a peach
How many
ring?
trolley gummy bears in
I'm
snacks?
asking that question.
But understand this. I hear your frustration, but the harsh reality is we have grown up in a society that we've consumed so many sweet items. Our taste buds love sweetness so much that when somebody tells you that literally once you get past 3 or 4 tablespoons, you're doing your body harm, it does not compute. Like, what are you talking about? I wouldn't want to have anything that's not sweet. We don't realize how easy it is to consume a ton of sugar very quickly. So that is part of our problem, is just our mentality around sugar and feeling that we need it. And I always teach my clients or anybody that asks, if you're going to consume sugary products, whether it's going to be an actual piece of fruit, whether it's going to be something as simple as ketchup that you're putting on French fries or a hot dog or something, understand this, that sugar is energy. Now, once it's in your body, what you do with it is ultimately going to make it either good or bad for you. Okay, now that's not, I don't want to make a blanket statement because somebody's going to say, but what about high fructose corn syrup? Since that's sugar, can I just consume that and go work out? I'm not going to say that, because of the processing that goes on with high fructose corn syrup. It is a very low budget, is a cheaper type of sugar. Yes, let's understand that. But understand this, we must be conscious of how much sugar we're taking in, whether it's fruit or whether it's coming from actual sugar that's added to product. We should be conscious of it at all times and how we're being active around the time that we consume it.
Gotcha.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it's a little hard pill to swallow. You talking about these 3 teaspoons, but you know we're gonna
Tablespoon, not teaspoon.
Okay,
Tablespoon.
3
That-
tablespoons.
How
Bread?
many? I need to know how many grams that is because I can consume an entire bag of Picho rings in a day.
This man
Yeah,
is on his peach. Oh,
So I need to know. And I'm in the office now. I'm at home working. I'm not
that
in the
is
food
that
anymore.
is 3.7.
So you can easily just grab something and snack and grab something and snack. So 3 tablespoons. What is that in grams? So I can look at the back of the bag and say, okay, 3 of these is so many grams of sugar. What is that in grams? I'll start there for myself. It's easier to know that process. I can count backwards.
Let me go ahead and make sure I have the exact calculation for you.
All right.
I'm gonna make sure we're gonna stick a pin in that, and I'm gonna come back to you so you understand it. So don't let me forget, but I'm looking up right now, so I'll be able to multitask with the
Good.
next question.
All right. Go ahead, B. Back on you.
Hold, let me jump one more thing. Some people may still want to know what are healthier sugar options. So if you know you have to add sugar to things like tea, if you know that you bake cakes or something, you want to add sugar. Looking at sugars like coconut sugar, date sugar, are sugars that are healthier options than your regular just white cane sugar or even your natural cane sugar or even brown sugar. So those are 2 sugars, coconut and date sugar, are seen as healthier sugar options. But we still have to be careful because they're not as sweet. So when things aren't as sweet, sometimes we will overindulge. Like that's one of the problems with stevia and those products, that because they're not as sweet, people will have more of it. And because you're having more of it, it still cancels out the fact that, okay, you're not using sugar, but you're still going to have the same levels because you're using more of the product.
It's about
almost
40
fell
to
into
45 grams of sugar.
Oh, you broke it
40.
down. My dude. That's what I'm talking
Well,
about.
I'm good. Okay, cool. All right.
Actually, you're not good.
No, I know. I'm
Because
good.
I don't
at it.
think that bag is only
I can look
40
at
or
the pack
45
and I can
grams.
space it out in time. I can learn how much I can take in a day.
Portion control. See? Just what I talked about earlier. Portion control.
I can
Exactly.
eat half a peach ring every
Right?
30.6 minutes
Exactly.
throughout my day.
Set my watch by the minute and go click.
It's gonna be on the
Hey,
buzzer.
Art, is EJ working from home too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to ping her and let her know she's gonna have to hide the peach rings, man. He'll save you from yourself. Sugar out. No more peach rings, Art. Get you an orange.
I got
Or a peach.
3 tablespoons. You got to moderate it.
No, I got you.
It's okay.
I got you. Check this out.
But
He
then
said you whole bag, right?
I don't get a whole bag a day, but over 2 days.
It's just
it's like a day and a
every
half.
other day.
Yeah. I get bored.
But what I don't think what you
Recommended
realizing.
serving size is 4 pieces.
What?
4 pieces.
What?
And there
I've never eaten only 4.
are 8 servings in a bag. In just 4, there's 18 grams of sugar. So if you get 8, that's 144 grams of sugar.
Wow. Cool.
And
Oh,
also,
that's not cool,
I don't think what else you're realizing is that's all sugar, bro. Like that isn't like anything
nothing
else.
in there.
Protein.
Yeah, like there's other stuff that you're eating that has sugar in it. Like for instance, if you eat some spaghetti, I'm sure there's some sugar in that spaghetti.
Every single
Like-
pasta sauce has sugar in it.
Yeah, that is just like you're acting like it's only preserving, right?
We're gonna leave Art alone, man. I've been munching on these things. Oh, you can't see them because of my background. I got a box of Boston baked beans, man. I've been munching on them for the last.
Boston baked beans. Oh, they're not beans.
Oh, bad.
That's my.
Nah, they peanuts.
Yeah.
Candy coated
Candy
peanuts. So there's some
coated
protein in there.
You're right.
Candy
You're right.
coated
There's protein in there.
Is it protein and honeycombs? I'll eat. Like, come on. Give me something.
What?
Can I get a handful of Fruit Loops?
Oh my God! You've got a handful of addiction to sugar, my
You
friend.
need to redirect to blankcanvascooking.com
So what
ASAP.
you're saying is, I need to avoid that aisle at all costs. Just go
Pretty
around.
much.
Stay on the
Yeah,
outside
man,
of the supermarket.
Kashi is on that aisle too. You can get you some Kashi cereal.
There you go. It's not bad. And you don't have to add sugar to it.
No, I don't add sugar to anything. No. I used to add sugar to Frosted Flakes. That was
Most of us did. We
You
all
added
did.
sugar to Frosted Flakes?
Add sugar to sugar flakes. Yes.
I probably
Yeah,
did
yes.
that. I probably did that when I was a shorty, like
Yes.
a shorty.
At
shorty.
the bottom of the
shorty,
the
yeah, and have that like
together, for sure.
definitely.
I mean,
As a
I
shorty,
definitely
shorty.
ate the bottom, but I never like
Oh,
yeah. What you call it? Cornflakes. Yeah, sugar too.
Yeah.
Those things don't have anything, but not Frosted Flakes.
Well, I've been good. It's okay. I'll adjust. I can do that. I'm a strong black man. I can adjust.
Hey.
When last time you been to the doctor?
Where?
To the doctor.
I need to find one. I went to the doctor last year, birthday. Then I obviously went to the doctor during that hospital visit. But I haven't been back since. I missed my checkup. I usually go on my birthday every year, but I moved, so I threw off my my calendar checkups. But I will go one here in Atlanta.
You know what I'll say about that though? Something that everybody actually should stop and think about. A lot of people talk about doctors and health, and we'll get blood tests and you get some information, but very few doctors have nutritional knowledge. Understand this: medical school does not focus on nutrition. Most doctors might get literally less than 5 hours of nutrition training. So you go to your doctor, and that's great, but that is not the end-all be-all when it comes to understanding what's going to benefit your body. So with that doctor visit, that's why you need to talk to somebody that's a nutritionist or a registered dietitian, because doctors really are not the source for nutrition. Matter of fact, half the time you look at your doctor, they don't like they're in great shape themselves.
No.
Not only that, they don't want you to get your food right, because then you don't got to come see them.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
There's no money in the cure. There's money in the comeback. We need to keep you just healthy enough when you're still a little sick, so you got to come back to us. Think about if a doctor cured you and literally all the ailments you have, he or she gave you the solution that one time, and you never had to see the doctor again, they would lose their business. So a doctor has to tell you just enough to keep you coming back. That's some deep level pimping right there.
And the pharmaceutical kickbacks.
Yep.
Oh my God.
The game is dirty and stacked against us.
It's nasty. I tell my doctor every year, look, dude, you're going to forget who I am. I'm only going to see you one time. And that's just why I make sure I'm on point. I don't plan to ever see my doctor more than just in January. I do all my visits in January. That's it. I'm going to take care of myself throughout the rest of the year.
I do all mine in June, birthday month. I just go get them all, eyes, doctor, everything all in June. And then I'm like, all right, cool. See you next year. But yeah.
But it doesn't mean you see him next year, you don't take care of your body, Art.
Walking out your fucking office eating damn pichos. I'm back the next year.
Pat said himself, if it does not affect your body in a certain way, I've been able to maintain, not saying it's perfect, but I've maintained the same frame since college. So I'm doing something right.
That's partly correct. Understand this. There are people that within the health profession, we call the skinny fat. So there are people who have frames like you, but have internal issues like visceral fat that is crushing them. You have arteries that can still be clogged, even though you look like you're in shape from the outside. So don't just feel that because you have a certain body type that internally all is well. When we start literally learning what happens to our gut, when we start learning what's happening to our vessels, our arteries, and our heart, you'll be surprised how much fat we're holding in because we're consuming a lot of food that we aren't breaking down and getting out of our body. So you can look great, but feel like crap. And because you just turned 40, right?
Yep.
Yes. So if you maintain this at 50, your body may not respond the same way.
That's true.
You may look like you're in great shape and your heart messes around and seize up on you one day. And I'm not wishing that on you, but I want to make sure you're wise enough to understand my exterior is not always a direct reflection of my interior. It partially is. But if you eat fried food very often, you cannot tell me that internally you are truly fully healthy.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, definitely moderation is for everything. Even things.
Don't worry, Pat. I'm moving to ATL in a couple of weeks. We're gonna find a dietitian and we're gonna reach out to you and yeah, we'll be on the move.
Carol gonna be back in his CrossFit game. It's gonna be amazing.
Nah, I ain't going back to CrossFit.
What happened to you in CrossFit, dog?
CrossFit does not seem like a good thing. I don't see the benefit.
I'm about to say I've never I never fully understood the reason for average Joe to try to do foolish warrior training. Especially like to me, it's like it's for people who are already like in a real healthy lifestyle. Like I've seen too many people get in Orange Theory who are like, I've never seen you play basketball, do anything, like barely walk across your house, and now you're telling me you going to Orange Fitness, and it's like a week later, broke back and knee jacked up. Exactly. Like you out there trying to do 1,000 push-ups, and last week you couldn't even push yourself up to the front of the counter. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I never have gotten that fascination, and I've had motivation of wanting to go, but then it's like ain't no championships out here, dog. Like, I want to be healthy enough to know that if I walk up some stairs, I ain't breathing hard, and like, you know, if I got to run around with some kids, I don't feel like I'm really just about to get straight dusted. But like to think I need to be like on that warrior shit, it's like a lot, bro, a lot.
It's true. That's true.
You passionate about that.
Walk in, walk out, and don't go back in. That's not a good place.
It just don't. It don't register to me. Like, don't get me wrong. I can see like, but to nah, yo, like the risk isn't worth the reward. It's just like the same reason I won't go and play like a lot of basketball right now because I fucked myself up playing basketball. And once you've done that and know, like, wait a minute, there ain't no more rings out here. There ain't no more, like, there ain't no more opportunity. Yeah, like, ain't no more, like, don't get me wrong. It's like, yo, you should be healthy. You should be going and working out and doing it like that. That's serious. Like, yo, like, bro, ain't no chance. You really, everybody got that same little, you got the lanyard, the medal that you got for running the warrior race. I get it. I mean, I see you, but
ain't no championships out here. Ain't no rings, boy. That's gonna let.
I think
like that.
A certain level that you need to push yourself to occasionally, but pushing yourself to that level, like, you know, 4 or 5 times a week, at some point you're gonna wear your body out.
And there ain't no ring or no, and the risk is just not like, there is nothing worse. There's nothing worse than catching an injury and some bullshit and dealing with it like, yo, being laid up in your house, up ankle.
That's the issue. You go into, you know, a situation where you're doing these Olympic lifts, you're doing these super competitive things, but then I ain't got an Olympic trainer or a super competitive person that's trying to keep my body prime to keep doing that over and over. So that's why I say, okay, nah, I ain't going back to CrossFit. I'm good on that.
I think some people just go too hard, man. They go too hard trying to keep up. Like, I've never done CrossFit. My issue is that if you don't have a great CrossFit coach, and if you don't have a small enough class, look, you get caught up, you try to keep up, and then you end up getting effed up because nobody's watching you, and you don't want to be the one to seem like you're not doing enough.
It's like they put you in that position to do that.
They didn't do anything.
Yourself when you're doing a doggone overhead thrust.
It is impossible to go into those classes, be in a room with 25, 50 other people who are, we're doing 1,000 push-ups, 1,500 sit-ups, this, are doing that shit. And like, even when you know, like, damn, I can't, this is my first day here. That's a lot. But you got motherfuckers going and screaming and shit is going on. You start getting hype. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm here. And then that next day you wake up, even though you only got to, 100 push-ups and only got to, a little half piece of everything. Because then you got the people who, in order to hit the numbers, are doing these weird interpretations of different moves. You know what I mean? Like, you see the pull-up people who get to this weird stroke thing and swear like they doing something that you just like, but bro, that ain't even like, you just duck goosing like right now. What are we doing?
Hey man,
first principles, man. You gotta what you said, Pat. You gotta know your body first, bro. You can't walk up in there and had no athletic ability and think you're gonna. That's why I never had any interest in doing CrossFit, and I was a college level athlete, and that's just not. It's not my thing.
That speaks volumes right there, because to me, I thought that was like who it was made for, but it's apparently just made for assholes who want to get fucked up. Like, I don't understand.
I did that shit. I did it I was a freshman in high school all the way up through college. So, and then I've been an athlete since I was a jit. So, 20 years of that, I'm good. I can just maintain. I'm out and about now running. I get my 2 miles in regularly. I ran 5 miles last weekend for the first time ever. So I'm good. I don't need CrossFit to validate anything. And I damn sure ain't getting caught up in no peer pressure situation and somebody dropping medicine ball.
Yeah, exactly, yo. Throwing medicine balls across the room, and yeah, man, like that's a lot, bro. That's a lot.
That part's fun. Throwing them
That's the balls is fun.
Catching them and dropping into a squat, and not so much.
Yeah,
I got pro fights that do that religiously, and they old. They like 45, 50 years old. Maurice.
Some people catch, Maurice. Some people catch that shit.
Like 45. 45 is old? Like, dang.
I mean, older. I'm sorry, like older.
Damn.
God dang.
Through that, he hit that shake up in there real quick. You know, they like 42.
They old,
they on their way out. They up in that.
I don't know. I look at it a little bit differently. I feel like at 45, again, I'm just trying to maintain. I'm cooling. You know what I'm saying? That's an age that I just want to be, comfortable. That's it.
Listen, man. No, can't be comfortable at 45, man. Look, if something pop off tomorrow, I don't get to take a back seat and just be like, all right, man, and let's go out there and do your thing.
That's the thing, because my worst nightmare is getting my ass whipped by some young little on some dumb that is just like, yo, you got to be ready, dog. It ain't about
have a kid. My son is 8, and more than likely he's gonna be taller than me. Every day I gotta be prepared. Like, this dude, he's gonna eventually be my height and think he can take me. That keeps me going right there.
I'm about to say it's the them understanding, like he ain't never gonna think that, because to this day I still don't think I can take my dad. That's what he's still be.
Low G, bro. So it's a little bit different.
All right, we better get on it, because your two boys.
Oh yeah, they're gonna jump me for sure.
Definitely. They gotta come and be playing with all that shit in the background. Fuck you, Dad. We wanted to play with these things for years. Exactly. I love it, Batman. Why can't I play with him?
Daddy, you're not even an African.
Yeah. I want to switch directions a little bit and get into the diets, man. There's a lot of diets out here. Some of them come and go fast, like Mediterranean. I was big on bulletproof. I don't know, Carol, if you're still on the bulletproof wave or not. But you got keto, Mediterranean, bulletproof, vegan, vegetarian, all of these diets out here. What are your thoughts? Matter of fact, what should people be aware of when they're in that transition of dietary changes?
So this is what I will start this answer with. I choose not to even use the term diet. I just don't like the word die and food. I don't want to associate those two. So I always just say eating routine. So many of these eating routines that people have are really not sustainable. So that's my biggest concern, is that with these eating routines, they are really meant for short-term results. And you can look at a lot of them, and you do get short-term results. Part of the, I think, nuance to these different eating routines is that they're low calorie. They're low calorie, and they're manipulating the macronutrients, meaning fat, carbohydrate, and protein. So
I hear that word a lot.
High fat. Exactly. Yeah. So macronutrient, just simply a fat, carbs, and protein, carbohydrate, and protein. So some are going to say, hey, we're going to put you on a high fat diet, no carb, and protein, in order to basically train your body to utilize fat. I get it. But what's interesting is whether I'm getting my calories from fat, whether I'm getting my calories from protein or carbohydrates, usually our bodies are responding to the total calories. If I'm taking in 1,000 calories a day, will I lose weight? Whether I have 1,000 calories and 50% is carbohydrate, 20% is fat, 30% is protein. If I flip those numbers around, I'm still consuming 1,000 calories. Then what's going to be interesting is how your body looks as you use those calories. But ultimately, your weight can shift. So we want to understand, we're looking at these eating routines that are happening, where we're making shifts in our weight and the manipulations from the variety that are out there. That's how we get the look of our body, as far as even having more muscle, or what people use the word tone, and I can't stand that word tone. When I was a personal trainer, it made me sick to think about tone, because what does tone mean? It really means nothing. Our bodies, people want to simply have our body have less fat and more muscle. So instead of saying I want to be toned, no, you want to be more muscular. Doesn't mean you have to be bulky, but you ultimately want less fat, more muscle. So just say that. So in addition to that, is just, I feel that these eating routines don't set you up for long-term success. I want to see people create eating routines that set you up for long-term success, so that you're doing things that you can continue to do day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out. And that is what's more important. It's important for you to understand how to control your portions. It's important for you to understand that eating a lot of animal protein can be detrimental. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be a vegan or a vegetarian to live a long life. No, I'm not saying that. But once again, going back to one of the first bits of advice that I gave, tips that I gave, learn your body. Find out what foods work best for your body. What foods help to energize you? What foods allow you to rest? What foods keep your glucose levels down? What foods keep your cholesterol levels down? And they're all going to be different for different people. So when you choose a eating routine, balancing out the type of protein that you eat, balancing out the type of carbohydrates you eat, balancing out the type of fat you eat, that is what's sustainable. Myself, I have chosen to follow a vegan eating style. Like, I never call myself a vegan. And I always correct people, say, no, I'm not vegan. I follow a vegan eating style, meaning I do not eat any animal products. I only do plant-based products. That's it. Does that mean I'm perfect? No, because I have some chips that I love. Those chips will not have cheese on it, but there's some delicious chips that I love to eat. All right. So it's important to understand a routine that is something that you can do consistently and that you can maintain for a long period of time. That's what's going to be impactful to people, instead of looking at this, whatever is in style, eating routine that sounds cool because you saw some athlete do it, or you saw your friend do it, and they lost 50 pounds. Yeah, but see them in 2 years, and I bet you they gained 25 to 50 pounds back. And it happens to tons of people all the time.
So with that, going on with that vegan eating lifestyle, that's one of the things. I actually subscribe to everything you just said. I'm a hybrid of everything. I eat some vegan products throughout the day or a week or whatever. I might eat a grass-fed steak one day, and then just eat all salad and salmon the next day or whatever. So I try to mix it up and make sure that I'm mindful of the nutrients that I'm taking in and the supplements, vitamins, and everything that I'm getting. But I eat a lot more vegan and vegetarian options. It's been slowly increasing. But one of my concerns is the amount of processed options there are that are vegan, plant-based, or what have you, versus just the whole foods of the lot. And because it makes it easier to do. Like, I love Beyond Burgers or Beyond Sausages. I'm a big fan of, black bean burgers as well, and all of those meat substitutes. I've even had shrimp that taste very, very close to being shrimp that were vegan, but as soon as I bite into it, I'm like, what did they do to make this taste this way? So in your opinion or your experience, living a vegan or having a vegan eating lifestyle, what should we be aware of? What are the best practices of doing it so that we maintain health and not fall into the trap of the ultra processed foods that are out there?
All right. So I will give you the example that I've learned that helps if somebody is interested in transitioning from eating animal protein into a vegan eating style. Or another way is just whole food plant-based. That's how if you watch enough documentaries, they will use that term, whole food plant-based. So an easier transition is, let's say you eat anything. Start with eliminating pork. And I would
That's the thing
say,
going.
I would say you do this within about a month to 2 month process. All right. So you stop 1 month, just don't choose pork. The next month, eliminate beef. So now you're 2 animals down. The following month, which is going to be hard for some people, we're going to look at chicken and turkey, and we're going to eliminate chicken and turkey. All right. Now we're just weeding it down. So now the next month, we'll go down, we'll look at seafood, and we'll eliminate seafood. And I'm just using a month as an example. Plan this out. All right. So some people may need 2 months. All right. To make sure that you won't fall back. All right. So, but gradually you're eliminating these meats. So now you're all the way down to fish, or some people say pescatarian. So now the next thing is, all right, how do I now get to being a vegetarian? And this is what's kind of weird to me. But when you're a vegetarian, vegetarians still, and following that eating style, still eat dairy, and they still consume eggs. So technically, they're not eating the meat of a chicken. They're not eating the meat of a cow, but they're drinking the milk of a cow, and they're eating the eggs of a chicken. But that is what is allowed in a vegetarian eating style. So that will be your next progression. And then from there, you learn to eliminate dairy and eggs, and then now you're following a vegan eating style. So that is the path that I will always recommend to people. You gradually eliminate a protein a month or 2 at a time. But in addition to that, it's about planning. And I tell people this all the time, that you have to plan. Typically, when you have folks, and I've talked to folks that have tried to make the transition, and they said, man, I went vegetarian for like 6 months, but I got bored and I went back. I couldn't take it anymore. That's because they did not plan on where they can get their food from. That is the most important thing. As you eliminate these options and your end goal is to get to being whole food, plant-based, know what restaurants you can go to. Know what foods you should be shopping for and what you know how to prepare, or what you're willing to learn how to prepare. When you can do those 2 things, you set yourself up for success, because now you're going to constantly have the eating sources to supply what you need. And if you need help, talk to a chef. Hey, I work with a friend virtually and showed him how to make certain meals. So, and if it's not just me, but you can learn how to cook anything on YouTube. It is your friend in this process. So when you understand your food sources, once you eliminate these different proteins, that makes it easier. Now, when it comes to the process or the alternative meats like Beyond Burger, you have another product out by a company named the Tattooed Chef. Products in this category, what I've learned is they're designed to help people who want to transition. So folks that are trying to drop meat and go to a vegetarian or vegan life eating routine will do this knowing that, okay, I can still have the taste of what I liked, but I'm not getting the ill effects of that. My concern is that when they mimic the taste, what has happened is you're still putting interesting chemicals into your body to mimic the taste.
Interesting.
I have to say interesting because every company is different in what they use. There's different formulas to mimic the taste of basically of cow. What I've learned is that typically what it is they're mimicking the blood of a cow. That's all the taste and flavor we're getting from steaks and beef, hamburgers is coming from the blood. So literally these companies are manipulating that taste of blood from that cow. Now, for me, knowing I want to be more whole food, plant-based, I'm not too excited about how people are going to mimic that blood taste from that animal to give me that feel that, okay, now I'm more comfortable eating something that looks like sausage and smells like sausage and tastes like sausage, but isn't really sausage. That concerns me, So in theory, it is a great idea to wean people off these meats and to get them into this. But what happens is some people get stuck on it and they love them so much that they feel, okay, I'm a vegetarian, I'm a vegan because now I'm eating these Morningstar burgers, or I'm having these Gardeins, or I'm having these type of veggie burgers, or these other plant-based burgers, and like the best of both worlds, So what I personally recommend is learn how to manipulate food in a way that you're not adding chemicals. So you mentioned a black bean burger, which is great. Learn how to make a delicious black bean burger. And guess what's in it? Black beans, peppers, and seasoning. And I will use a little bit of flour. I'll use probably like spelt flour, or sometimes even garbanzo bean flour with a little extra flavor, and breadcrumbs. Then that's how I make my black bean burger. I'm not adding any extra liquids, not adding any other random chemicals that I can't pronounce. That's how I'm making my black bean burger for you. All right. So these are things that you can learn how to make, or if you're out shopping, find out what has been put in it. Look at the ingredients. That's something that most people don't do. Look at ingredients. If you see the ingredients section on a packaged food and it's like this long, it's like a paragraph, I'd back away from it. I want as few ingredients in food as possible. And guess where you get that from? The produce section. When I'm going to pick out a carrot, guess what's in it? A carrot. If I'm going to pick out an onion, guess what's in it? Onion. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, keep things simple as possible. So, yes, they're plant-based burgers and that alternative meat. It's a great idea. And I will not say don't try them, but I wouldn't make it your staple in this vegetarian/vegan eating style. Allow it to just help you wean off and then learn how to either make or learn how to purchase foods that just have fewer ingredients that give you that same burger feel without it being so tainted by these other products.
So, Pat, so let me ask you this question. I just want to recap for the audience in case, I mean, it's just so much good stuff that they may be forgetting steps, right? So, First step, go see a registered dietitian to find out what you should be eating, right?
What works for your body? Because our bodies are all different, yes.
Right, what works for your body, right? They're probably going to recommend you some stuff like knowing what you eat, a food journal, portion control, and then as far as the planning, plan where you get your food from, right?
Yes.
But the one step that we don't want to forget, right? Because anytime you enter into something new, you're going to need some support and how to maintain it. You want to go follow Pat Quinn, because Pat Quinn will lead you down the road of how you can cook your food, meals, all of that stuff that's going to fall in line with what your dietitian has recommended, right? So are those?
That's right. So I'm a nutrition coach as well. So please, I definitely plan on putting out some flyers on social media very soon, the packages that I offer. But yes, so myself, I'm definitely a great resource for people who are looking for that type of support and that guidance and the strategies and accountability. That's what's key. Having someone to hold you accountable. You can say, I'm going to start this new plan. I'm going to start this new lifestyle. But if you only get to depend on yourself, it's easy to let yourself down in anything we do. So you got to have somebody that's willing to consistently check in with you, somebody that's willing to hold you to that fire and say, hey, you said you're not going to do this, so let's not do this. Let's find this alternative option. I know you're hanging out with your buddies. Matter of fact, I got a new client I've started with who's actually a coach. And coaches, unfortunately, in the industry where typically they don't eat well. They oftentimes are overworked. They're stressed. They eat late. And when they eat late, what do they go find? Chicken wings. They go find big burgers. So if you're a coach and you're trying to make changes, you need somebody to hold you accountable and say, hey, you can go out with your buddies. I'm not saying don't go out with them, but let's make smarter choices. It's okay to be the one person at the table that has that salad. Or it's okay to be that one person at the table and say, I still like burgers, but you know what? I'm not going to eat the bread tonight, and I'm not going to get cheese on it. So I want to make sure you understand there are people that support you like myself to get you to where you want to be and hold you to what you say you want to do for yourself. Keep going.
And it's funny, Pat, because you talked about being out with your boys or whatever, but in most cases, it's being at home with your spouse or your significant other or your kids, right? And one of the things I've seen Pat do, I've seen Pat cook a meal for himself and then cook a meal for his son, right? Who may not be in the lifestyle or may still like certain things. And that's just an island that people are going to have to be willing to be on, where you may be in your home and you might not get that support at home. You might have to get that accountability partner someplace else because it just might not be at the house. Dude, they might not be ready to make that switch.
I have a client right now, and that was one of the issues. She has one child at home and is married, And yeah, at first she wasn't getting that support because her husband did not subscribe to the same life goal as hers. Like, she's trying to lose weight. He wasn't really trying to lose weight. So he cooks food, but he doesn't cook food that supports her goal. And that was a constant battle because she loves the way he cooks. And she finds herself coming right back to the kitchen when he's cooking this and will get a plate. So once again, it's strategies. So I've realized that this is going to be hard for you. So until the two of you work that out, let's do this. Let's meet in the middle. So if you're going to subscribe to eating this food sometimes, take out every large plate in your house. Only keep small appetizer-like plates or salsa plates in your house. And so when you feel the need to have that food that isn't going to really support your goal, you're going to be forced to have much less of it and only get one serving. Don't go 2-3 times. No, small plate, you want to eat, fit a little bit on that plate, and that's all you're going to get. That changes things up for you because now mentally you don't feel like you're really making this huge sacrifice. So you're not going to quit, and you still get what you like, but now you're just having far less of it. So sometimes we got to meet people where they're at mentally so they can stay consistent to get into their goal. So that even when you're at home, you mentioned Xavier, and that's great. But you know what? Well, when Xavier's with me, that cat actually will eat plant-based because I'm not giving it to me a choice. Like, I rarely will have meat in my refrigerator. Sometimes I do because I have a client I might cook for and I have some leftover food, so I'll keep it. But for the most part, there's not going to be meat in my refrigerator. So he's going to eat what I eat. So what I had to learn is that as a parent, your children will eat what tastes good. So make food taste good. Something simple. Kids like spaghetti. How I do a meatball, you say they like spaghetti. So have spaghetti, but you don't have to use wheat regular pasta. They make spaghetti with lentils. They make spaghetti with chickpeas. So you can have chickpea pasta. You can have lentil pasta. Now you can make a sauce, and I've showed them how to make sauce from scratch. You can take a little tomato paste. You can have some tomatoes. Blend it up together. Chop some mushrooms. Now you have a nice vegan-style dinner, and it's flavorful. And it's that simple. When food tastes good, people will make great choices, and your children will eat what you eat. So you don't have to, because some people don't make the time to make 2 separate meals. Let's be honest. I hear this all the time. I eat this way, they eat that way. Now I got to do double work. Screw the double work. Make what you make for you taste good, and everybody's going to eat it.
Make food taste good.
Can't argue with that.
Make food taste good. That might be the title of the podcast. Make food taste good.
Yeah, how to make food taste good. Yeah.
Pat, man, we want people to reach out to you. We want people to be able to connect with you. How can they do so with Blank Canvas Cooking?
All right, so definitely you can find me on Instagram, Blank Canvas, and it's Blank, BLANK, Canvas Cooking. For some reason, people meet me to see a black chef, and they think it's black canvas. No, it's not black canvas. And yes, Black
It's
Lives
so easy
Matter.
to do. I did it like 4 times already.
Hey, it's Blank Canvas Cooking, and it just stems from just literally understanding that sometimes great meals just start from an empty plate, and we get creative from there and make something beautiful. It's always my canvas. You can see me on Instagram under Blank Canvas Cooking. You can see me on Facebook under Blank Canvas Cooking, and I'm also working on this new piece to the company. It's called Food Function. I actually have an Instagram for Food Function, and that's function with an X in it, because I fully believe on getting people to understand that food functions to make our bodies function better. And I just wanted creating content to help people better understand how food functions to help us move better and live better and feel better. Like you said earlier, Brett, that food is medicine, and it is medicine, and we should treat it as medicine and constantly heal ourselves on a daily basis. So many things that we don't have to live with and deal with and die from if we make smart choices with food. And it doesn't have to be torture. Healthy food can taste great. A little bit of kosher salt, some onion, maybe some garlic. If you're alkaline, then you're not going to use garlic, but that's a whole nother topic, talking about alkaline living. But it doesn't take a lot. Some herbs, food can taste friggin' amazing, and it can still be healthy for you.
Pat, you might go down in the 13th floor record books, man. You might be the only person to come on here 3 times talking about alkaline.
Man, that alkaline piece is a whole nother level. I'm learning more about it myself. With what I eat, I'm probably about 60% of my food is alkaline, but it's definitely something for people that are really trying to be health conscious. There's a bunch of people when COVID came out, maybe by April, a lot of people putting, hey, have ginger shots, ginger and lime, you'll be fine. No, there's so many other things we got to do to get our body into a position to truly have a higher immune system, and truly be in a position where it doesn't have to break down, it doesn't have to get sick or sustain illness. And that alkaline lifestyle is something that a lot of people should put more emphasis on learning about. And when you learn about how the body operates when it's in an alkaline state, and that doesn't just mean drinking alkaline water. Trust me, people think, hey, I drink alkaline water, I'm great. No, if you drink alkaline water, but the rest of your food is acidic, you have canceled out the whole purpose of paying more money for your alkaline water. So definitely,
damn it,
I would love to talk about a little bit more at another time, but it's some people got to look into how to follow an alkaline eating style and how that food ultimately benefits your body so that you can be as vibrant as possible.
There it is, Pat. We're going to definitely bring you back on to have that conversation, man. Before we get out of here, man, I got to wrap up with the Freshivation, Faison's Corner, and then Coach K is going to take us home. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, you can get this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio. We in the building now. So check us out there. And then the videos on YouTube and Vimeo. Make sure you subscribe, leave comments, and tell us just how great Pat Quinn was today on this episode, man. So DJ Barry, be fresh. You up first, brother. Freshivation.
Let's see. All right. I feel power of the present moment. I am intensely and effortlessly present. My inner stillness brings me inner peace. In this very present moment, I am very happy and satisfied. All my power is in the present moment. All that I desire in my life is created right now. There is no future. There is only the present. I think that a lot more people, while you need to be conscious of your future, being more accepting in the present moment and enjoying those present moments is a piece of life that many don't value and understand to accept. That in being able to enjoy and tolerate what's going on in that present moment at all times, that's how you get to make bigger, more precious moments in a sense. So I think that all should be in the present moment. This week be in the present moment, enjoying P. Diddy on the podcast, but make sure that you're enjoying all your present moments as you move through life, because it's freshivation. I'm a little low key today. Believe that though.
There it is. Faison, we coming your way, man. What you got for the corner this week?
Yo, today was a lesson for me. I really enjoy listening and learning, and I think there's times where we need to just sit back, listen to be students, and take the information in, hold it, and put it into practice. So no matter where you are, be it this podcast or somewhere in work or with your significant other, listen, be a student, take the action from that point in time. It's always good to ask questions and follow up, but you have to learn every day new things to help you, your body, your relationship, your mind. It's all connected.
Cool. Morpheus, you went first to bring us in, man. You got to take us home, man. You out here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think everybody looks forward to this challenge every podcast to see how I'm going to take what somebody spoke about and close this thing out. But listen, man, I've known Pat Quinn for a long time. Definitely somebody that, look, man, he lives what he talks. And one of the things that stood out is when he talked about having to adapt his business, right, to be successful during COVID. And for some of you, COVID ain't the first ailment or pandemic that you've experienced. Some of you have been experiencing a pandemic your whole life where you just can't get to what it is that you want to do. You can't live the life that you want to live. You can't get the fitness lifestyle or the health lifestyle that you seek because you're unwilling to adapt. Adapting is the first thing that you need to do if you want to reach that lifestyle that you want, if you want to have that longevity that you want, and you're not going to be able to do it by yourself. When you want to adapt, go out there and seek people that are in the space doing already what it is that you want to do, right? So look, if food is your thing and that's what you need to adapt, you heard the steps from the master of adaptation. And when I say the master of adaptation, I'm going to give him that title now because where you see him in this space right now is not the space he's always been in, whether it's his profession, whether it's his food choices, right? And he's always loved food. For as long as I've known him, he's always loved food, right? But he has adapted for what he wants to get out of life. And that is the lesson that a lot of us need to learn and a lot of us need to put into place is adapting and adapting for the better. And if that's what you want to do, just take food as that first step and then figure out once you get the blueprint for how you're going to adapt your food, which look, food, we talked about it being medicine, food is also a drug, right? And if you can break that addiction and adapt, you'll see that everything else behind that will become that much easier. Make food taste good, make your life good.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Pat Quinn, we appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. I just want to piggyback off of what Carol said, man. It's okay to love food, but make sure the food that you love loves you back.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We are done here on the 13th floor where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing.
Welcome to where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views, they are amazing.
It's the 13th